Good morning. Hey everyone, I'm Sarah Mitchell from Helping Babies Sleep. I'm a sleep consultant with 8 years of healthcare education behind me. I'm a chiropractor by training, and I've been helping parents get their kids to sleep for over 5 years. And today I want to talk about the 4-month sleep regression. There's so many things that bug me about the 4-month sleep regression, which have to do with semantics. The first one is that it's not really a regression. Because a regression implies that it's, your child's going back to a stage, but really she's not. The most common signs of the 4-month sleep regression are waking more frequently at night and taking naps that will only last, say, 45 minutes. This is really different. This is a new experience for many parents because newborns often sleep like a baby. They have those long stretches of sleep that can be, 6 to 8 hours if you're really lucky. But when the 4-month sleep regression hits, you're generally starting to see your child wake up more frequently at night. Sometimes it's every 3 hours, and your naps shift to 45 minutes. With my first son, I actually never really experienced the 4-month sleep regression because he was such a terrible sleeper already. I was already waking up every 2.5 to 3 hours through the night. We never got longer stretches with him. So I didn't really feel that hit of that 4-month sleep regression because I hadn't been having any decent stretches of sleep to begin with. But with my daughter, who I had sleep trained from day one, I did notice that she started to wake up more frequently. So I always think it's important when we're, talking about how can we deal with these things. It's like, let's find out why this happens. And the root of the 4-month sleep regression, which can happen anywhere between 3.5 months and 4.5 months. It's a neurological development. And the idea is that it's your child's understanding object permanence. So the idea that you exist even though she can't see you. And so she's testing that concept and experimenting with it. So she wakes up and calls for you to see if you'll come and give her some attention. The 4-month sleep regression is also related to, wanting more of mom's attention as well. So if you're watching right now, I would love to hear if you've gone through the 4-month sleep regression and what the signs and symptoms were for you. Okay. We talked about object permanence and we talked about waking up more frequently. So let's talk now about, what can you do about the 4-month sleep regression? Well, I really think it's important that you give your child some time to process this new concept of object permanence by coming when she calls to you. She knows you continue to exist and that she's safe. So responding to all these calls and the more frequent night waking. The challenge is when your child starts waking up so frequently at night, it fractures her nighttime sleep and starts to tip her into a kind of an overtired cycle. So the other important thing that you can work on in this period then is getting her back to sleep within a timely period. So we're talking about awake times, making sure that she's not staying up too long, essentially trying to keep her well rested through this period. So what else can you do? Well, if you're nursing, you can get your child back asleep in the night without having to feed each time. And if you can't do that, well, then you realize you probably have some sort of a sleep crutch. So she's now associated nursing as a way of falling asleep, that that's what she does. That's part of her routine. If your child has a pacifier and you're finding that you have to go in each time and reinsert the pacifier to get her back to sleep, then you've also got a sleep crutch on your hand, which is that pacifier, that sucking motion. The sucking helps relax her so that she can drift off into sleep. Self-soothing skills are repetitive actions. Self-soothing skills don't appear until you've removed a sleep crutch and kind of forced your child to try and find other ways of relaxing into sleep. Self-soothing skills are things like rubbing a piece of material between her fingers, sucking a thumb, lying in a certain position, or even rubbing her cheek into the mattress. Something repetitive. Moaning and groaning as well is another common one. So ultimately, you can band-aid solution the 4-month sleep regression. You can offer more comfort, you can try and keep her well rested, But in general, the 4-month sleep regression doesn't usually go away, right? These bad sleep habits just become more prevalent. So what can you do? Essentially, you're going to have to do some sort of sleep training. And the idea with sleep training is you're removing that sleep crutch, let's say it's a pacifier, so that she learns how some sort of a self-soothing skill that helps her relax into sleep. So that when she wakes up again after one nighttime sleep cycle of 3 hours, she has the ability to relax herself into sleep and doesn't need to cry out for you to come reinsert the pacifier or rock her or nurse her or whatever you have to do. So that's essentially the gist of the 4-month sleep regression. It's the entry into your child's awareness of the world, if you will. She's just woken up to the world around her, and she now has preferences. She wants to see you. She wants to know where you are and what you're doing. So ultimately, you can band-aid solution, the 4-month sleep regression with working on sleep timing and, responding to her calls, but eventually you'll probably have to do some sleep training to take away the sleep crutch so that your child is going into the crib calm but awake, not drowsy but awake. When we're taught, we're taught to put kids down drowsy but awake, but if we've made them drowsy, we've done the work of relaxing them for them. And that's the skill that they need to learn to be able to be good sleepers. So if you're watching, if you have any questions, please pop them onto the comments. I'm going to put a link to the blog post if you want to read this up on this again. I'll also put a link to my sleep summary by age, which tells you how much sleep your child needs by age, including naps and nighttime sleep. And in case you didn't know, I also host a free Facebook group, Ask the Sleep Expert, where I answer general questions about sleep. Some of the types of questions that I ask are, when should my child go down to 2 naps? How many night feeds should I be giving at this age? Those types of general questions. I generally don't answer, how do I sleep train my child? Because when I work with a client one-to-one, my sleep training packages have a 20-page document that go with them, because sleep training is so much more than just the bedtime, it's the whole 24 hours. Thanks for watching.